Sunt Doina Levinza și vă invit în universul minunat al modei. În emisiunea de astăzi vă invit să urmăriți. Chiar dacă este fiica celebrului Paul McCartney, debutul stelei în modă nu a fost atât de ușor. Despre cariera unui designer care militează deschis pentru dispariția blănurilor din modă, dar și despre cea mai nouă colecție a ei, imediat în emisiunea de astăzi. Portret de manichin. Julia Ratner, în 2 ani de carieră, modelul ucrainian a prezentat deja pentru toate numele importante din modă, devenind peste noapte un adevărat fenomen. Se spune că o pălărie bine aleasă îți poate schimba radical ținuta. Eugenia Kim, regina pălăriilor, sărbătorește în acest sezon 20 de ani de carieră. Înainte de toate, sunt femeie și vreau să arăt acest lucru prin stilul meu, spunea Jacqueline Kennedy. Astăzi o vom cunoaște pe această femeie fantastică, al cărei stil a schimbat felul doamnelor de a se îmbrăca. Christian Louboutin, un nume mitic în lumea designerilor de încălțăminte, cunoscut în special pentru talpa roșie a creațiilor lui. Subiect de muzeu. O aniversare ca un cabaret, 19 ani de la lansarea revistei Cosmopolitan în România.
She might be one of the most powerful women in the United Kingdom these days, with a fashion brand that is consistently championed by the industry and beloved by celebrities. But when she was a young designer, with the burden and benefit of a famous name, Stella McCartney's start in business was inauspicious.
It was me in a garage with 2 friends, in a flat in London. And it was really taking off, and I just didn't have the manpower to deal with it. So I got offered a couple of jobs, and I took the Chloe one.
Taking over the reins of Chloe from designer Karl Lagerfeld would have been overwhelming for most any designer, but for 25-year-old Stella, ignorance was bliss.
I was very naive. I didn't think anyone would notice because I was so not in the industry. I didn't know about when openings came up in houses for designers that it was sort of interest to people. It all worked out well though, it sort of was the right thing to do because obviously Chloe was amazing for me. I loved every moment there and I learned so much, and it also gave me the opportunity to get, a partner like Gucci, and it gave me the exposure to be where I am today.
In 2001, Tom Ford and Domenico De Sole of the Gucci Group offered Stella the chance to return to designing a line under her own name.
She'd done a really super job at Chloe, and Tom came to me and said that she knew her quite well and thought that she had a great talent that could be a great acquisition for the group, and so that's the reason that we acquired the brand.
Her business is growing really, really steadily, and she seems to have found her own voice.
We're working on loads of things. We've got our lingerie, our Adidas collaboration that we do, the new collection, obviously. We have eyewear, we have shoes and bags and everything. We're a big brand all of a sudden. We're grown up. I feel very sort of happy, right now we're in a really great place with everything.
Long before sustainably chic and cruelty-free were trendy, hashtagable fashion phrases, designer Stella McCartney was a pioneer of eco-conscious and animal-friendly design practices, committing her eponymous brand to finding stylish alternatives to wasteful, sometimes harmful, routines in the fashion industry. For autumn-winter 2018-19, McCartney delivered faux fur outerwear, as well as faux leather trainers, which were specially designed to avoid the use of toxic adhesives. McCartney chose the fall season to debut her one-year-old menswear collection on the catwalk alongside women's wear for the first time. Spend a minute on the runway with model of the moment, Ukrainian beauty Julia Ratner.
What we're doing today is a really glossy, shiny, wet look. We're having the hair pulled off the face and it's hanging down the back nice and wet and shiny. We're using a combination of Aveda Emollient and also the Aveda Brilliant Emollient Gloss so that we can get the hair nice and wet, nice and sleek, nice and shiny, just so that it looks really cool hanging down at the back from the hats. Complementary to the headwear, yeah, because it's all going to be really great headwear for her 20th anniversary.
What we wanted to do is really create a focus on the eyes and lips. It's a super bold look, but I think because her hats are really strong, she wanted the makeup to be really strong as well. It's pretty graphic. Think about a smoky eye. Smoky eye, you would take this and then buff it all out. You're not buffing it out. We're using our black orchid liner with it. Before they walk, we're going to add some gloss to it, so it's actually going to be a glossy black eye. It's a great way to complement the hats. I think it's really fun for a makeup artist because we can go for it, which is fun for us today at 10 a.m.
I started working at a Lore magazine when I first moved to New York. Started taking this hat making class, and then one night I gave myself a bad haircut. I was like, oh, I'll just cut it shorter here, shorter here. And then all of a sudden I looked like a Buddhist monk with no hair. So I started making hats that looked like hair to cover my head. This mohawk made of feathers that's really tall, and it was my first year, and I was doing it in my apartment. I was spray painting in the hallway, and my landlord evicted me because I was like, oh, that's not me. You know, there's a mohawk-shaped like line of electric blue. Like, who else would it be, right? And then I started selling in one of the stores, and Barney saw them in the window. They said that they're going to order. And I kept thinking, I'll just go with this until like I can go into a safe job after this. And I just kept doing it. And 2 years later, I'm like still doing it. 2 years later, and I'm like, I guess I'm doing this, you know? The whole inspiration is this whole old world glamour. Just really glamorous pieces that are over the top. So like Marilyn Monroe in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Madonna in the same video. What's that video again? Material Girl. So it's all about pinks and reds and lusciousness. We did pieces with gloves where it looks like you're like this. We did versions of our pieces that are OTT, like this hat that we're selling like crazy because Beyonce wore it at the Grammys. It's a beret, and we did a crystal-studded version of it. This piece is memorable because I wore it to the CFDA Awards the year that I won accessories design. It was my first time going, so I was like, okay, I'm a downtown girl. I want a downtown crown just in case I win. And so it's like I'm a little punk princess. I've met so many women that are like, I can't wear hats, I look bad in hats, and then I figure out the right hat for them. So there is the right hat for everyone. It's just like sometimes people aren't used to wearing them.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
As 35th President, John F. Kennedy gave this nation one of the most influential first ladies that this country has ever had. From the moment she set foot on the campaign trail, Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy captivated not only America, but the world with her alluring beauty and understated style. The Metropolitan Museum of Art paid homage to Jackie with an exhibition celebrating the enduring impact of her White House years.
It's exciting that we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Jacqueline Kennedy's emergence as First Lady.
For me and for those who knew my mother, she will always be a part of us and of our lives. And she will always grace the history she helped to make.
She's such an icon, and she had such a global influence in fashion in the world. I mean, so many women copy her, and still going on.
Visually, I think that probably there's no First Lady who has so strongly influenced a period of the White House as Mrs. Kennedy did. She was a very modern woman, a very young woman, wearing wonderful, simple clothes.
What's fascinating about the clothes is that they really tell the story, and one sees how very keenly Mrs. Kennedy at this period thought about the power of fashion and style and the messages that one could convey through clothing. The coat behind me, for instance, Jackie called her good luck coat because she wore it the day that Jack announced his candidacy for president. Here we have a prototypical pillbox hat. She actually hated hats. She compromised and worked with sales lady Marita O'Connor at Bergdorf Goodman, where the custom hat designer was Halston. On her travels, she liked broad brim hats. She would step off a plane and you'd be able to see America's First Lady.
She knew the power of clothing, she knew the power of presentation. She had a real grace and a character, the way she walked, the way she moved, and that's as much about her style as her clothes.
She was the ultimate of what class is, and yet she was approachable at the same time.
Jackie was a sort of unexpected hit with the Canadians. This is a red suit by Pierre Cardin. The dress matched the Mounties' uniforms. The Canadians all felt that it was an extremely considered diplomatic gesture that she'd, match the suit to the outfit. Jacqueline Kennedy continued with the president to Vienna, where he had a day of very unproductive summit meetings with Khrushchev, the sort of feisty Soviet premier, who appeared to melt a little, where he met Jacqueline Kennedy wearing an Oleg Cassini designed dress.
It was great. She picked me. That was the greatest thing to happen in my life. Then I did a good job. That was the second greatest thing I did in my life.
This Oleg Cassini designed coat was worn by Jacqueline Kennedy when she arrived in New Delhi. She was greeted by Nehru, and the coat in a way reflects the lines of his eponymous Nehru jacket. She changed into exactly the same coat and hat, but in white, to go and lay flowers on Gandhi's shrine. White, of course, is an Indian colour of mourning, and one sees that she's established this pattern of complementary clothing. This is a dress by Gustave Tassel that Jacqueline wore for an elephant ride in Jaipur with her sister, and although it's got a fuller skirt than she normally wears, that's about the only concession to a planned elephant ride. Jacqueline Kennedy's state evening clothes were very formalized. They were rather stiff and almost two-dimensional in a way. But at one point she wrote to Oleg Cassini asking him to design her a sort of drapey dress in the Madame Grey tradition.
She appealed to all women, all different parts of her, the things that she wore, her glasses, her handbags, everything.
Dark glasses were such a trademark of Jacqueline Kennedy's, and she sort of later said that she felt protected by them in a way because she could see what was going on, but people couldn't really see what was going on behind them.
She had style, which is a very different thing from being fashionable, and I think that being an icon means that you never go out of style.
She gave a sense of poise to the White House and a sense of stature that I don't think anyone else has been able to equal.
I hope people come away thinking that she's more than just fashion. She's greatly missed, but I think she's smiling down on her family tonight.
An exhibit at the museum at FIT explored the themes surrounding the highly coveted shoes of Christian Louboutin.
We wanted to take a look at his history and his designs and where they came from, and what has caused his recent rise to power. A lot of the reason that Louboutin has become so prominent recently has to do not only with the fact that he has very exciting, beautiful designs, but that they've been linked with many eminent Hollywood stars, and they're instantly recognizable because of their red soles, that young women have picked up on those shoes as a symbol of the lifestyle that they're trying to emulate. We decided to focus on 5 themes that have inspired his work throughout his career: historicism and his interaction with artists and designers, gardening and landscape design, exoticism, fetish, and glamour and Hollywood. We felt like were the biggest themes that run through his work. This shoe in the middle, which is from 1996, is a mule that's directly inspired by 18th century women's mules, the kind of things that Marie Antoinette would wear. And one of the greatest shoes in this case is this Clovis sandal from 1996. And his idea was to create a shoe that looked like a woman was walking on a bed of roses. This shoe, with the heel made out of a Guinness can, is one of Louboutin's personal favorites. Some of our most exciting shoes in the exhibit are this pair of cowboy boots lent to us by Miss Dita Von Teese, who's a burlesque artist.
I asked him to make me a little, very feminine, little dainty cowgirl boot with a Swarovski crystal spur on the back. By the time I get on this giant lipstick and start riding it, all I'm wearing is my nipple tassels and my cowgirl boots, so it's, you know, they're showcased very well there.
While we've looked at some shoes that take ideas from fetish shoes, these are real fetish shoes. These are the real thing. He created them in collaboration with the filmmaker David Lynch for an exhibit. They're not shoes for walking. They're really strictly shoes for sex.
It's Louboutin's signature sole that allows him to have the last word on his chic shoes.
He says black soles are for widows, beige soles are for the Milanese, but red soles are for women who still have time to dance.
Luna aceasta, revista Cosmopolitan a sărbătorit 19 ani de la lansarea pe piața din România. O adevărată performanță dacă ne gândim la perioada tulbură prin care trece presa scrisă, cu titluri care dispar efectiv peste noapte. Dar Cosmopolitan se ambiționează să existe și să livreze, în fiecare lună, propria viziune despre ce mai înseamnă astăzi moda, frumusețea sau cariera.
Cât de des citiți revistele de modă?
Întotdeauna citesc revistele de modă, întotdeauna le cumpăr săptămânal, mai ales pentru fiica mea, pentru că ea este mult mai avizată, ca să zic așa, dar îmi place să mă uit întotdeauna și mai ales la persoanele de afară.
Lunar îmi achiziționez cam tot ce înseamnă reviste premium de modă și le răsfoiesc, îmi salvez așa în telefon ce mi se pare că e cool și aș putea să integrez în stilul meu vestimentar. Deci am teancul de reviste acasă.
Mai mult le citesc online, sinceră să fiu, recunosc, nu prea îmi cumpăr reviste să le citesc acasă. Online toată ziua, pot să zic că săptămânal.
Mai prins în capcană. Adevărul este că nu prea citesc reviste, mai mult sunt pe zona cărți.
prefer să citesc cărți în loc de reviste, dar nu pot să spun că nu mă consult cu ultimele tendințe și nu verific de obicei online mai mult, pentru că este mai accesibil, mai simplu și am la îndemână mereu telefonul.
Știi că destul de des, în momentele în care plec în weekend către concerte, mi-au din benzinărie toate revistele pe care le prind, dar recunosc că sunt mult mai ancorată în online.
Cât de des citești reviste de modă?
Destul de des îmi place să mă documentez absolut tot ceea ce urmează să se poarte, să se întâmple în materie de modă, de fashion. Îmi place, da.
Nu foarte des, dar citesc, cred că, revistele cele mai importante când am timp.
Nici prea, nici foarte. Depinde.
Nu foarte des, dar sunt tot timpul la curent. De obicei mă uit pe site-uri, mă uit pe articole vestimentare care se pot cumpăra de pe net și așa mai departe.
Evenimentul desfășurat săptămâna trecută la București, sub forma unui cabaret gigantic, a forțat vedetele noastre să facă totuși un efort de a gândi niște ținute speciale.
În viața de zi cu zi pui mare accent pe ținute? Încerc să fiu cât mai naturală, îmi place să fiu naturală, să fiu foarte colorată, îmi plac foarte mult culorile, pentru că a fost o perioadă în care mă îmbrăcam foarte mult în negru, tot dulapul meu era negru.
Consider că fiecare femeie își poate manifesta personalitatea prin felul în care se îmbracă. Pentru mine e important, fiind și artist, și mai ales pe scenă sau la evenimente publice, e important să îndrăznesc un pic mai mult decât o fac atunci când merg la cumpărături pentru familie, de exemplu.
Sunt o persoană clasică, atât pot să spun. Niciodată nu m-am îmbrăcat după cum se poartă. M-am îmbrăcat la modul în care să mă simt foarte bine, să se vadă că port acel lucru cu mare drag și cred că asta contează cel mai mult.
Îmi place să îndrăznesc, cumva pentru ținutele de zi smart casual, pentru ținutele de scenă ceva mai extravagant. Depinde foarte mult și de mood-ul meu, de starea mea de spirit.
De cele mai multe ori optez, după cum cred că s-a și văzut în timp, pentru ținute destul de basic, minimaliste, din stofe naturale, cam asta. Deci, comoditatea pe primul loc.
De foarte mulți ani, nu neapărat că nu mai pun accent pe ținută, ci încerc să-mi aleg ținutele în așa fel încât să mă simt bine în primul rând și după aia mai vedem.
Trebuie să mă reprezinte ținuta respectivă. Da, o aleg cu mare grijă, dar ascult și sfaturile prietenilor care sunt stiliști, dar trebuie să mă simt și bine.
Cel mai important pentru mine la o ținută e să mă simt bine în ea.
De fiecare dată aleg haine în care să mă simt bine, să fiu comodă, să fiu eu. Exact cum am făcut și în seara asta, nu sunt absolut deloc în tematică, dar nici nu mi-am dorit oarecum pentru că nu este stilul meu.
În speranța că v-a plăcut emisiunea noastră, vă așteptăm sâmbătă la ora 11.